look at special right triangles. So first we're going to start with this equilateral triangle, and we're going to cut this equilateral triangle right down the middle. So our corners we know are 60, and then it turns this equilateral triangle to 30, and we're going to focus on this half of it, this 30, 60, 90. So let's say this side was just x on our 30, 60, 90 triangle. Well, we cut it in half, so this is x over 2. And then we need to find this other side. So we know, we'll call that side b. So Pythagorean theorem, b squared plus x over 2 squared equals x squared. Let's see, so we have b squared plus x over 4, x squared over 4 equals x squared. So b squared equals x squared minus x squared over 4. Well, this would be 3/4 x squared. And then if we take the square root, we end up with b equals the square root of 3x over 2. Or the square root of 3 over 2x. So that's one triangle ratios. If we have this 30, 60, 90 triangle, 30, and again that's a little off, but if our hypotenuse is x, opposite 30 is half of that, and then we have the square root of 3 over 2 times x. In our 45, 45, 90 triangle, well, we know it's isosceles, so if these two sides are x, then we have x squared plus x squared equals our hypotenuse squared. So 2x squared equals c squared. Square root, so we have x times the square root of 2 equals c. So our hypotenuse is of the ratio x times the square root of 2. So now we're going to look at some cases when our hypotenuse is 1. Well, in our 45, 45, 90 triangle, we know that this is x, x, so this would be x times the square root of 2. So we divide by the square root of 2 to find x. So we have x equals 1 over the square root of 2. And this is one time I'm going to ask that you rationalize it. So we have the square root of 2 over 2. So these sides would be the square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. Now 30, 60, 90 triangles. Well, we know if this is x, opposite 30 is half of x. So this would be 1/2. And then we have x times the square root of 3 over 2 times x. So an x was 1/2. So we have the square root of 3 over 2 times our x value of 1/2. And I think something's wrong here. Square root of 3 over 4. What did I do wrong there? Let's see. So square root of 3 over 2 times x. Oh, I see. Okay. There we go. This side was the square root of 3 over 2 times x, but our x value is 1, so the square root of 3 over 2 times 1. So we have the square root of 3 over 2. So I hope that makes sense, because in this case, this was x, our ratios. This one was x over 2, and this one was the square root of 3 over 2 times x. And our x value here is 1. Sorry about that. So now we're going to try and evaluate these without a calculator. So if we have our 30-degree angle, and we're trying to find